This is Overtime, a weekly moment of off-the-cuff commentary on everything from sports and politics to observations about everyday life from NFL All-Pro Carl Lee. Welcome to Overtime.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk, and I'm going to do a quick overtime session with the same guest, Hunter Moles, the new director at the South Charleston Community Center, and recently a state championship AA head coach. And we're going to discuss one of the interesting components that we've talked a little bit about this before, and then there was a news article about it as well, about parents understanding their role in their kids' participation in sports. I'm going to say, like in youth sports, I think the participation, if you're not coaching, should be really kind of just sitting and enjoying the time that your kid's playing. And I know that can be challenging when you don't play, if your kid's not playing. And it's hard to keep coming to games and your kid doesn't play. But, you know, that unfortunately, that's the reality of where he or she could be. As you go up the educational ladder, you go to middle school. I think we're having a lot of kids leaving middle school sports because they're not participating, and the parents themselves may be bothered by that because their kid was pretty good in youth sports, and now they go to middle school and they're not getting that kind of instant run. And you know, we talked about that on the Let's Talk program. We talked about that being a challenge when a kid doesn't play. And then when they go from middle school to high school, it's even a bigger challenge because now you're talking about a really young kid, a ninth grader, trying to play with an eighth grader. And the expectation is from the parent is he ought to get in somewhere. You know, football, you can't just say he should be able to get in anywhere. I don't know. I'm sure soccer, same situation. Basketball, you could make the case, well, maybe he could get in, but the reality is the patience and the growth that they have to get to those next levels. I'm just wondering to you, if you were trying to explain that to parents, the patience and maybe even a conversation that you might want to have with your child in the inability to make that transition and become that instant starter or even playing time. What would you say to them as a extremely successful coach already, have gone through this process yourself as a player? What would you say to those parents as a way of giving them some advice?
All right, so the main thing for me is just to keep working and understand that there are highs and lows to everything in life. The sun's going to come up with or without you. Storm's going to pass eventually. Obviously, everyone's scenario is their own. Everything's a little different, so it's hard to put it all under one umbrella. But you have to understand that you could be really good at the youth level, and then naturally, as everyone gets bigger, maybe you don't grow the same. Maybe your body's different. You know, maybe someone catches up to you. That's fine. That's natural in a way. But how are you going to respond to it is my biggest question. How you respond to things is our biggest question that we try to teach. We lose a championship. How are you going to respond? Something doesn't go your way. How are you going to respond? So if you don't like how something's going, the biggest question you should ask yourself is how are you going to respond to it? Sitting around and complain. Now, there is a complaining stage between parent and kid. I understand that, but yeah, how fast can you move on from it? You know.
Well, but I don't think that discussion between parent and child should drift into the coaching unless you want to know what does he need or she needs to do.
Let me get more into that. And I can just speak for me, myself, my program, and my high school age, right? Because like I told you, middle school is very hard to coach, I think. But for high school, I don't think I've had one parent meeting, because we tell the guys, we have a player-parent meeting before every season. The players need to come talk to us. The players need to get used to speaking for themselves, coming to us saying, Coach, what do I need to do to play more at 7:30?
A life lesson.
Like, they need to come and talk to us. And obviously the parent can get involved if they think, we're doing something we shouldn't be. But it's tough for the kid to ask that, but it helps them grow. It helps our relationship grow. Hey, you are good at this, but we need you to work at X, Y, and Z. So that's the main thing, is telling the kids they need to go talk to the coach. I think I do mention, though, in our meeting that if I'm telling little Johnny to go left and he goes home and goes to the dinner table and you keep telling him to go right, which way is he going to go? He's going to go right. He's going to listen to you guys before me. You're the parent. Like, he's going to listen to you. So it doesn't.
Before you go any further, I want to emphasize that, because I want parents to understand your child will listen to you. The question you have to ask yourself is what you are saying. Is it relevant? Is it in line with the program, the coach, the structure, all of that? Because you may say something and your son buys it, but it is left of the team. And then that becomes a problem, because sooner or later he's thinking or she's thinking this, and your coaching methods and structure and everything is on the other side of that. That's going to collide. Yeah,
it is. But I do think naturally, I don't think parents are never going to not want to see their kid be successful. Like, that's obvious, right? Like, they're going to want the best for their kid. They're going to want them to play. They're going to want them to do. And everyone has different ones. Like, some of them want them to score this much. Some of them want them to rebound this much. That's fine. I think that's natural and never going to go away. But I do think, like we keep talking about, it's bigger than, for me, basketball. It's bigger than basketball. There's life lessons to be taught. I think if you're having guys work hard in practice, you need to reward them with game time. That is the importance of junior varsity. Everyone looks at JV like it's a bad thing.
Yes.
Everyone looks at it like, oh, I'm on the JV. No, you're practicing all this time. This is when you go play against other competition. Everybody dressed and played JV, I think, if they weren't starting on varsity. So you're telling 6 man through 19 played JV minutes. I want them to get game reps. That's where we can see their development. We had Gio Cinco, Jeff Reynolds, 2 guys that are seniors this year. They played JV their freshman year. Now they're state champs and starters. Somebody's going to have to. There's only one basketball. There's only 5 guys on the court. Someone's not going to be thrilled with their playing time. How are you going to respond to it? That's the biggest thing. I think on the flip side of it, us as coaches have to understand, and I know this for a fact, I am not always correct. I make mistakes too. So can you admit to your mistakes as a coach and be okay with saying, hey, man, you were right, or, I should have played X, Y, and Z more. You might not have to tell the parents that. You don't have to go tell the players or say that. But you have to be you have to be, as a coach, you have to be coachable too, and you have to keep wanting to get better, because players and parents want to see that. They want to see you get better. I go to every coach's clinic I can get to, right? Like, I go and work on my craft. I watch so much basketball because I love it, right? The players and parents, they want to see that passion. They want to see that you're putting your all into it. But if you're doing that as a coach and you're putting your all into it, you want to see that in return.
Right.
You want to say, hey, stay with me. The one game you didn't get playing time because you're a guard and we were playing against a bunch of big guys and we played a big man instead of you, or whatever the case may be, stay with me. Practice harder. That's what my dad told me to do, practice harder. So it's a touchy subject right now, I think, for sure. But both parties can kind of get a little better at it, or all three parties, from coaches, player, and parent. But I do think we got to encourage the players to talk to their coaches at the high school level. Obviously youth and middle school is different, but at the high school level, let the players come in and talk for themselves, and just try to emphasize to playing hard, staying positive. Sometimes when you're going through stuff, like you're having a tough season,
right,
or you don't get what you want, that season can help you in life more than anything. More than being all state and all that. That struggle season, you think I've had plenty of struggle seasons. I've had times where, Mom, I don't want to do this no more. No, you finish. You started this, you finish. So
I was brought up in that same process of, you start this, you're going to finish it, right? And to your point about having issues, there could be personal issues.
Yeah.
There's things that could be happening in your life that's going on, and the process that I had to go through with my dad and my mom was, when you go play, when you go practice, when you're participating in those things, these things can't match. Like you can't bring that into your football.
Yeah.
Football is that outlet that you go do that.
Yep.
Now, sometimes the motivation, because of frustration, anger, or whatever, may add to it. But their concept was, you can't carry those things over into day-to-day life. And that's not always easy.
No, it's not.
But I think if you hear it, if you think about it, if you try it, I think that can be helpful for you, because at least for that hour and a half that you're playing, an hour and a half or practicing, whatever the case may be, that stuff is gone.
We actually hit on that a lot during finals week, because Catholic is tough academically, and we talk a lot about finals week. Hey, let it go for this 2-hour practice. You can't study right now.
Right.
You're already here. You might as well get the most out of it. So later in the season, we had a lot of talks with the guys. Hey, if anybody's checked out, you don't have to keep showing up. We'll still let you in the picture. I swear to you, I told him this, Carl. I said, if you're checked out, because we have some guys that don't play as much, right? They see how much they're playing. They think because they're not playing in the game, they don't have a role in the team. Hey, if you're checked out, it's fine. You can still take the picture with us when we win the state championship. And I was being dead serious when I told him that. My biggest thing, and I think the guys did do this, my team did this year, the guys that didn't play varsity minutes, they bought into practicing hard. And we had great practices postseason. You can't just do it with one guy, 5 guys. It takes everybody. It takes one bad apple to bring the negativity. When the negativity comes, it's contagious, and then it goes to other people. We needed 1 through 19 to be positive, to give your best. Like you talked about, I'm already here. I might as well get something out of it. And whatever you got going on outside of the game, that's the beautiful part about the game, is you're just going to practice. It's your outlet. Use it as your outlet. So we definitely hit on all those things and really try to make ourselves as one. There's a Jay Wright quote, who used to coach at Villanova. He says something like, everyone's role on the team is different, but everyone's kind of the same, has the same role or purpose or something like that. I butchered it, but it's something like that, and we tell that quote a lot. We're big on, we have a quote of the day every day that we go over, so we have a lot of quotes and things like that. So you just got to have the right mindset, like we talked about a little earlier. Mentally, you got to be mentally tough.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here, but I just want to say, like, I wanted this as the OT, because I wanted parents to understand that playing is not the measure of the future success. Playing is the motivation, or not playing is the motivation to play.
Yeah.
And if you put that motivation into play and the work ethic to play, at some point in time when that opportunity comes, you will play well.
Yep.
But if you spend time doing nothing because you're not playing, and then that opportunity comes for you to play, and you're not ready, you may never get another chance.
Yep. Stay ready so you never have to get ready.
You have to
stay ready so you never have to get ready.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Stay ready.
That's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. This is Carl Lee, and we're getting out of here. Thank you, Hunter.
Appreciate you having me, Carl.
No problem.
The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WVRC Media, its management, employees, or sponsors. Follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Carl Lee. Visit WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk for more.